That's when we can expect to hear from Her Majesty the Queen herself, when she will give that one and only address that she's giving here while she's in Canberra.
And George, we're just watching pictures now of Queen Elizabeth II hopping out of the car, and she's being greeted by the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, who bowed and shook hands with Her Majesty and the Prince, the Duke of Edinburgh. And Tim Matheson, the Prime Minister's partner, is also there to greet the royal couple. They're now heading inside to Parliament House, where there are, as you heard George say, several hundred guests from all walks of life waiting to receive and welcome Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh. We'll have shots from inside, and here are some live pictures inside as the assembled throng welcomes the royal couple. That's the Speaker, Harry Jenkins, welcoming Her Majesty there. And that's Janet Phillips from the Nunnywell people. She is a Nunnywell elder welcoming Her Majesty. Anthems sung there by the Australian Girls Choir, and we're now expecting a welcome to country by Jeanette Phillips.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I introduce Ms. Jeanette Phillips, a Nunnywell elder, to deliver a welcome to country.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Prime Minister and Mr. Matheson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, the land of my ancestors. The spirit of this place welcomes you. The spirit of my people, we hope that you be safe. We extend to you the most warmest and generous of welcome, and we sincerely hope that you enjoy your stay here. And thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Her Majesty the Queen.
Prime Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Prince Philip and I are delighted to be back in Australia. I find it difficult to believe that it is already 5 years since our last visit. Ever since I first came here in 1954, I have watched Australia grow and develop at an extraordinary rate. This country has made dramatic progress economically, in social, scientific and industrial endeavours, and above all, in self-confidence. This Great Hall lies at the heart of Australia's enduring democratic institutions. It is easy enough to talk about democracy, but it must never be forgotten that it represents a compact between the Australian people to accept the wishes of the majority, while always remaining conscious and sympathetic to those whose voices are not always heard. It is this political freedom that leads to free expression, which encourages new development in areas as varied as the arts, sport, and commercial enterprise. With this foundation, Australia has flourished and achieved excellence on the world stage. The award of the Nobel Prize in Physics to Professor Brian Schmidt earlier this month is but one example. And in the face of a global financial crisis, Australia's robust economic record, underpinned by the strength of its institutions, has been widely acknowledged. In an unstable world, Australians consider themselves fortunate. However, they continue to make a significant contribution to world peacekeeping. This does not come without a price, and we are all conscious of the sacrifices made by the Australian Armed Services in international operations. Their valour has been well recognised, in particular with the awarding of the Victoria Cross to 2 servicemen for outstanding bravery in Afghanistan. I also share the grief felt by those families, friends and colleagues of the 29 service personnel who have been killed during this conflict. It has been a difficult year for this country in many ways, despite the successes. The world witnessed the anguish of Australians as they lived through a summer of national disasters. We saw towns battered by a cyclone, homes, businesses and families destroyed by devastating floods. And across the Tasman in New Zealand, we saw a city utterly ruined by an earthquake. I know Australian and medical teams, rescue and medical teams, did not hesitate to lend their support to their neighbours in response to this horrific event. We were all impressed by the courage and resolution shown by those affected in the face of crippling desolation. Prince William also saw at first hand the fortitude of people during this testing time. Next week, we will be in Perth for the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference. It will be an important occasion for governments to discuss the challenges they face and find new ways to bring about positive change. I'm sure they will draw strength and inspiration from their time here in this prosperous, energetic and dynamic nation of Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can join me in a toast to Her Majesty, the Queen. The Queen.